Happy Wednesday, y'all. We are in the kitchen. Actually, I've been in the kitchen since 5:30 this morning. It's about 10-ish right now. Full day in the kitchen with you guys. Yes, I think it's been, 3 or 4 days since we visited. And I thought, I don't really have a whole lot of recipes that I haven't already done. But this is kind of a repeat fall type ingredients that I will be using throughout fall and winter. So I just figured I'd just turn the camera on. Y'all keep me company. And we're fixing to start doing a lot of prepping for a couple of things that we like to eat. We'll also do a couple of recipes. So let's just call it Spend the Day with Lippy in the Kitchen. And you got to have a good cup of coffee. Oh, that hurt. Yes, I have a fever blister. I sport one every year at this time, guys. About 6 years ago, one of the grandkids gave Papa and I strep. Y'all, we thought we was going to die. Well, after that, I developed a fever blister. So every October, I get a fever blister. So when I smile, it really hurts pretty bad. But they've come out with something. Abreva, we all know about it. Oh, no. They've enhanced it. Abreva that has lidocaine. And let's see, today's Wednesday. I started Abreva on Monday. It's done dried up. No pain unless I get to smiling. I do that often. Then you can feel that pain. But let me tell y'all what. Abreva with lidocaine, that's your friend. It's your friend. So by the weekend, it'll be gone. And I'll wait till next October for it to say hello again. So the first thing we're going to do is mix up pumpkin pie spice. I don't buy it, y'all. I mix my own. Now, I've got about a half of a jar left. I want to go ahead and top it off because we're going to be using it for a recipe this afternoon. A sweet treat using pumpkin puree. I think this is going to be a hit for y'all. So let's get our homemade pumpkin pie spice mixed up, set to the side. I also have an oven preheated at 400 degrees. That's going to be our next recipe, which is a staple in this house. And I'm just about out. And I see and feel and smell gumbo in the future. Yes, we're going to make a jar of roux, a quart jar. That way it's sitting in the icebox and it's ready for when I want gumbo stews. I use it to thicken gravy up with. Many of you that's been around, y'all have seen me do it. But let's do it again together. And we're going to also make a cabbage slaw, kind of like a sauerkraut. Only I'm putting a twist because I saw bell peppers that someone did. The recipe was a little bit different from mine, but they added the bell peppers, and I was like, I've got a red, I got a green. So we're fixing to change it up a bit, surprise Mr. Buddy, and then you guys are going to have supper with us. Well, you'll help me cook supper. So we got a full day. I'm going to drop the camera. Let's get our pumpkin pie spice done and set to the side. We're going to move to the roux next because that needs to cook. And in the meantime, we can do some prepping for our cabbage slaw. Now, you can double this recipe. I'm just going to do a single because I think that'll finish this little jar off. But you're going to need ground cinnamon and you're going to need 1 tablespoon. There's no sense in buying pumpkin pie spice when you can make it your own. Where's my lid? 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Ginger is next. We need a half of a tablespoon. And I eyeball this, guys, because I don't have a half a tablespoon measurement. And yes, you see why I have this board here? Because I tend to make a mess. There's a half of a tablespoon of ground ginger, a half of a tablespoon of ground nutmeg. Now, some of these spices, if they're too much for you guys, just, you know, cut it down some. That's about a half of a tablespoon of ground nutmeg. Now, this is where I go light on ground clove. Ground clove can truly take over. So I use 1/4 of a teaspoon. Now, you can add more, but 1/4 is plenty for this recipe. We're going to put the lid on and give it a good shimmy shake. So that's one recipe down, and I told you it would almost fill the jar. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and repeat, and that way it's a full jar, because I will go through a lot of this fall and winter. I've got a deep bottom cast iron pot, Dutch oven. It's a number 8. You really need a deep bottom. That way you don't have any spillage. I am going to put the stovetop on about a number 6. You just want a medium, and I'm preheating my oven to 400 degrees. I'm going to add 2 cups of neutral oil. Now, guys, you may want to use avocado. There's our stove. I don't recommend using avocado because it's going to lend a flavor that roux shouldn't have. So this is just vegetable oil. It's a neutral oil, and you want 2 cups. We're going to bring this up to temp where it's just lightly bubbling around the sides. And once it comes to temp, I'm going to add 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, I did measure it in a dry measure, but this is 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Our oil is almost hot. Not frying hot, just warm. I'm starting to see it glisten. But yesterday, guys, about 7 a.m., I went to the Sugar Shack. And I mixed up salves, refilled a lot of shakers that was low in quantity. I worked all day, but I also made 26 jars of apple butter. I used 25 pounds, 12.5 pounds of Gala, 12.5 pounds of Fugi. In the description, I will offer the apple butter recipe. So where you see the title of today's video, there's going to be a word that says more. If you click on more, a drop-down box will appear. That's where you'll find the website to Miss Lippy's Bayou Blends, and I'll also share the apple butter recipe for some of you that may be interested. Now, you don't have to do 25 pounds. You can cut this recipe in half. But it's my go-to. It's delicious. Look at the consistency. Can y'all see that? It gives, but it doesn't pour. You see? Fantastic. All right, I'm seeing some glistening. So you got to go to the pot. Now, so I don't wear a flour bath, I'm going to go in slowly. And all I was looking for was some shimmer on the oil. You can see it kind of moving there. And I'm about to turn the heat off. I'm going to turn the heat off, and we're just going to get this well and combined. All right, I believe we are well and combined. Okay, it went in the oven, and we're going to stir it every 10 minutes. Mine's going to go 40 to 45 minutes. I like a dark roux. Some people like a little bit lighter. That's going to be to your liking. But I would suggest go to that dark caramel color. There's your base for your gumbo, your chicken fricassee, your beef tips, and gravy. This roux can be used in a host of recipes. I like to mainly use it for my gumbos and my fricassees. I even put it in my meatballs and gravy that we eat over rice. So let the oven do your work. This will fill up a wide mouth, and you really want a wide mouth. Mason jar, a quart jar, and I'll show you all the steps. We've got to cool it down, and this will keep 6 months in your icebox. Our first 10 minutes is up. Now I'm going to pull it out of the oven this one time. Normally I just go in and stir it in the oven, but I wanted you guys to get a good visual of what you're looking for. But I normally just leave it in the oven, pull the rack out some, and give it a good stir. We're at the 20-minute mark. This is our second stirring. And you can see it's starting to change colors. Set your timer for another 10 minutes. Yes, Lippy has the old-timey timer. I mean, I got a timer on my stove. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong. Got to work on the cabbage slaw. Refrigerator method. Now, you can your slaw, and I've done that in years past, even last year. We like it, but Buddy's favorite and mine is refrigerated. Now, y'all have seen me make a lot of sauerkraut. This is going to be a slaw. What's different is I'm using green and red bell peppers. And I do have them julienne. Let me show you. And I also have the onions julienne. Okay. So I've already got this prepped. Now I've got to work on the carrots. Oh, y'all can see good. Okay, this is one large sweet yellow onion. Now you can put as much or as little of these three vegetables, but we love onions, we love bell peppers. But like I said, normally it's just the carrots, cabbage, and onions. Putting the bell peppers is a new one for Lippy. And why I never thought about it, I don't know. But this, I think, is going to be delicious. This is one large red bell pepper, julienne, and one large green bell pepper. Now, you can omit the green. Had I had an orange or a yellow bell pepper, I would exchange the green for that. But I got to use what I have. I'm going to get my carrots grated. This is about 1.25 cups of grated carrots. And like I said, you can add as many of the carrots and onions and bell pepper or less. Oh, time to go to the stove. With clean hands, I'm going to mix this up with my hands. You can use a spoon, whatever, have a big bowl, but I'm just going to mix it up with my hands. Isn't this fun? I mean, it's recipes, but I'm not doing this recipe, that recipe. We're just going to spend the day together, and I'm trying to make it easy to follow. But this is life with Lippy, and today happens to be, well, just like yesterday, indoors kind of chores. So tomorrow I can do PT and then work in the garden. So I'm going to get this mixed, and then when we meet back, we're going to be at the stove to make the brine. So we'll get this done. Oop, I don't want to lose that piece of cabbage. And this will sit 3 days before Mr. Buddy gets to enjoy it. 2 to 3 days. I normally can't hide it for 3 days. I can get by with 2. And then it's like, where is it? I want it. But I can smell that difference using that bell pepper. I wished I knew who I saw. I don't remember. It was a gentleman. And I was like, bell peppers? Made sense. Okay, I've got it well and combined. Now we're going to do the brine, and then we got to fill our jars up. And then I'm going to take a break, and I think we'll go ahead and do pumpkin balls, because our supper is going to be chicken, just chicken breast, and cabbage, some cornbread, probably make a gravy for the chicken, and I won't do potatoes. I'll do sweet potatoes. I don't know. It'll come to me. I just know today's chicken. And I know I got leftover cabbage. Medium, kind of a low medium, a number 4 heat. Now this is a recipe you can cut in half as well. I'm going in with 3½ cups of just water, tap water, 3½ cups. 1 3/4 cup white vinegar. Make sure it's 5%, 1 3/4 cup. 1 cup of granulated sugar. This is a ½ cup measure, but it's 1 cup granulated sugar. This is Redmond salt. You can use kosher salt, but there's 1 tablespoon and 3/4 tablespoon, right at 2 tablespoons of salt. This is optional, but about a ½ tablespoon of red pepper flakes. So we have 3½ cups of tap water, 1 3/4 cup white distilled vinegar, 5%. You got a cup of sugar, 1 3/4 tablespoon of salt. I'm using Redmond's. You can use kosher salt, and a ½ tablespoon of red pepper flakes. We need to bring this up to a rolling boil. Okay, I'm gonna have to move the cabbage this way so y'all can see. And it's best to use a funnel, but my funnel's out in the sugar shack, so we're just gonna pack it with our hands. Make sure you do it over your bowl. Oh, I gotta go stir, but let's do this one. And I really wanna get it packed down. Let's get this 1 jar done, then we'll go over and stir our roux. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, that's 1 down. Let me wash my hands. Oh yeah, y'all can see. Can you see how it's changing colors? Now you could stop here, but I wouldn't recommend. If you want a true roux, you wanted to get it that dark, dark caramel. Okay, we're going another 10 minutes. Okay, I've got 1 jar down, and I'm gonna go ahead and just keep packing these. You saw how I packed that 1, and I'm gonna keep packing them. The roux stirred, and let's go back to filling our cabbage slaw. And there we have it. Y'all hear my timer going tick, 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 tick. But isn't that beautiful? I thought I had the camera on, guys. I pulled it out the oven just now, and I want y'all to look at this beautiful color. I'm gonna zoom in. And I'm gonna give it a good stir. Now this is extremely hot. It's got a great silk color to it. It smells amazing. And it will harden a little bit as it cools down. Now this will be going into a heat-proof jar. Make sure it is a glass jar that's heat-proof. This is an actual canning jar. Got to let this rest about 10 minutes before I jar it up. Now this won't go immediately into the ice box. This will sit out on the counter a good hour. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Because you don't want to put it in that ice box hot. You want it to kind of get down to room temperature. Okay, I am happy with that. I'm just going to walk away. 10, 15 minutes. I really need it to kind of cool down some. That way it doesn't shock my jar. Now, you don't want a wet jar. I could go ahead and put this in the oven, which is what I'll probably do. But that residual heat will get these jars nice and hot. So hot goes into hot. Okay, y'all, the roux is done. I wanted to stop about right here. But if you can see, I had just a couple of drops and I went ahead and finished it off at the 1-inch mark. I like it to be about 1.5 inches below the neck, but I'll have that top used in the next couple of days. But that'll give you quite a bit of roux, guys. I just took a little break, put some towels in the washer. Now we're about to make pumpkin balls before we move to the cabbage and the chicken. Because, y'all, it's 2:15, coffee's at 3. I want a little treat. Now this is easy. You can exchange the pumpkin for sweet potatoes. Or really any winter squash you can do this with. So this is gonna throw together I've got my stove sitting over here heating up. We need oil heated to about 350, okay? I've got 1 cup of pumpkin. This is just solid packed pumpkin. 1 cup. Let's get it all out of there. Just like that. We're gonna add 1/3 cup sugar, and we're gonna get this well and combined, the sugar and the pumpkin. This is where we add that pumpkin spice that we made this morning. I'm gonna add a teaspoon, just a level teaspoon, and we're gonna give this a good mix. We want to incorporate this very well. Now we're going to add self-rising flour. I have 1 cup. You're going to need 2 cups of self-rising flour. There's 2 cups of self-rising flour. You can add milk or half and half. I'm going to add some half and half. There's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of half and half, but you can use whole milk. Now you don't need a mixer. You can just mix this by hand. And if you need a little bit more liquid, we'll add a little bit more milk or half and half. But we gotta get it combined first. Here is the consistency. It's kind of like a cookie dough. And that's what you want. Now you can add more pumpkin pie spice, or you could add cinnamon, or none at all, but I think that 1 teaspoon is plenty. Oh, we got a little ways to go. We want it about between 340 and 350. We're at 345, so I'm good with that. And you want to do these in batches. All right. And you want to just kind of move them around because you need them to cook on both sides. Y'all, this smells like fall. So easy to do. And it's a big hit. And I will be putting powdered sugar on these. Okay. Those look good. Let's get them out. Just putting them on a paper towel. This is the good stuff. Almost like mine, like a beignet. Lots of powdered sugar. It's like it's snowing, guys. Now the powdered sugar is a preference. How little or how much you like. I'm going to cut this one in half so you can see the inside. Y'all look. Look at that. Here goes. Cheers. This is decadent. Now, this first time I've used my stove for making these. I'm glad that I checked the temp at 340 and I had to dial my stove back down to number 4 because I didn't want it cooking too fast. So, you know, every stove's gonna vary, but 340 to put these in, 335, 340 is what I would recommend. If you have one of these flat tops, my old stove, I could set it between a 6 and a 7 and it'd just stay. These new ones go up and down, because you really want the inside cooked, see? Do I have powdered sugar on me? Probably, because it's all over my shirt. So I did get one more. So I'm eating 2 pumpkin balls, drink my coffee, and we'll be back. We're going to do smothered cabbage and some chicken strips. Well, not strips, they're more like tenders. I'm just cutting skinless, boneless chicken breast in half but maybe my way of breading them is a little bit different. So that's going to be on the menu. We're just having chicken, kind of like a chicken fried chicken, if you will, and cabbage and hot water cornbread, probably. Just that. And, of course, our dessert. So, get you a cup of coffee. Make you some pumpkin balls. Oh, my gosh. And I'll see y'all in about an hour. We're going to crack 3 eggs in our mixing bowl. I added 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to season with my voodoo dust. This is just house seasoning. This is going to be to taste. Probably a good teaspoon. A little bit of salt. Maybe a teaspoon. Some garlic powder. Heaping teaspoon. And black pepper. We're going to get this well and combined. Look how pretty these are. Now they are very thin. We're going to actually just soak these in the eggs until we are ready to fry them up. Oh yeah. You want to make sure that they're covered. I got my oil strained, sitting over here on the stove. Look at that pretty oil. So I can reuse it. And our roux has gotten room temperature. Can you see that crest of oil there? So it's about to go into the icebox. Now we're going to get our cabbage going, while our chicken cutlets sit there and get happy in that seasoning and beaten egg and that 1/4 cup of water. Don't use the milk, do the water. I'm going to get my pot heated. All I did was wipe out the residual oil in here that I fried the pumpkin balls in, and that's what I'm going to cook the cabbage in. Y'all, I've had this pot for years, and it's probably my favorite cabbage pot. It looks rough, but this pot can cook some cabbage. Now, what I'm going to add is some bacon grease. Okay, I won't be adding bacon to this, just the bacon grease. And that's a heaping tablespoon. I've got a medium diced onion going in. Only flavor we're going to have is the onion, the bacon grease, and keeping our seasoning simple. We're going to get these. I'll tell you, I'm on a number 8. I'm going to add a little bit of crushed black pepper, a little bit of garlic, keeping it simple. A little bit of salt. Now remember, this is to taste. Can y'all see down in this pot? Oh my. And we've only been going about 3 minutes. That's why I like to cook my cabbage kind of on the higher side, because we like it to get tender but yet still have a semi-crunch. Can you see down in this pot how it looks like it's burnt? Once you've reached that stage, leaving the heat on a number 8, watch. That's it. A couple of tablespoons of water. Turn the fire off, and that residual water will evaporate and pull all that goodness off the bottom of this pot. And our cabbage is done. Just that quick, guys. Lid on, off the heat. Now we're ready to dredge our chicken cutlets. Let me show you. I use the 4C's seasoned breadcrumbs. That is my favorite. I've got a plate here, and I'm going to add some garlic powder, a little bit of black pepper, even though it's seasoned breadcrumbs. A little bit of salt. This is going to be to your taste. 1/2 teaspoon. Dried parsley. Not just for color, but it gives it a great flavor. Maybe 1/4 teaspoon. Now I'm going to grate a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, and I mean finely grate. It is wonderful, guys, when you pan fry it in olive oil. Doesn't take much. Using my hands, I'm just going to mix all of this up. And I really like my chicken to sit in the egg marinade a good hour, but it's only been sitting maybe 30 minutes. But we're going to make it work. Chicken and cabbage. Because what we don't eat in the chicken, we're going to make probably chicken parm tomorrow, because the chicken ought to be cooked. I just have to warm it up with some fresh Parmesan and some mozzarella with some marinara sauce over a bed of pasta. Because we won't eat all 4 of these. We'll probably just eat 1. And then I've already got my chicken cooked for tomorrow. Look how beautiful. Now, my olive oil is hot. It was almost smoking. So I cranked my temp down to about a number 4. I have to pick it up with my hands, each one, because I don't want to drop it. We're going to put 1 in at a time. We're going to fry them about 2 minutes on each side. It's not going to take long. The first one's out. The grand boys called, so I had to talk to them. I'm walking them through baking chocolate chip cookies. So the second cutlet is cooking. I wanted to show y'all, after 2 of the cutlets, I poured up the oil. I've got fresh oil in here heating up to do our other 2. I can't mess up the chicken, but y'all, you got to see what just come in the mail. I'm trying to figure out. All right, I'll do it like this. Maybe y'all can see. I don't know if you can see. Look at this. Look. Oh my, what? It fits. This is the kind that I've actually been wanting, because the other ones are usually long and I have to shrink them up. And look at these pockets. Can y'all see? And I'm 5'6", so it goes right above my knee. Is this not the prettiest apron? And y'all look, I got a Christmas one. My favorite color, green, too. Look at this. Oh, chicken. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I kind of didn't know how to put it on. So I was like, and then I figured it out. But guys, Buddy checked the mail, and my sister Debbie made this for me. And let me tell you what, is that not absolutely gorgeous? And I love the side pockets. I mean, I love all my aprons. And I'll usually fold them down and put them at the waist. But this now, I don't know if y'all can, let me scoot you back some more. Let me see. Can y'all see? Oh. What a surprise. Oh, I got to get my chicken. All right, I'll be back. We have one more to cook. And then dinner will be ready, or we call it supper. But guys, this says recipe, love, ingredients is, I'm going to read this upside down. 2 cups. I have no idea. I can't read upside down. I love it. Oh my God. And I know you're watching. I love you. Wow. See, I ain't talked to her in a couple of days. Now I know why she been kind of quiet. She been being sneaky. And this one, it's absolutely incredible. And to nail that green, as Buddy puts it, baby poo-poo green, sort of, my favorite. I'm burning chicken up. And here's supper, guys. Look at this. Now we got to sample. I like the cabbage over the chicken cutlet. We're not gonna have any bread with this, no cornbread. We're just gonna eat this. And I do have some lettuce and tomato. So if he wants that, I will fix him a bowl. But I wanna show you how perfectly cooked that chicken is. But make sure if you're doing big batches, because that's just a little bit of olive oil. You can use avocado, but when it starts kind of blistering, you want to pour that out, because I don't save olive oil anyway. Or you can use a neutral oil. I like the olive oil. I like the flavor that it gives off to the chicken cutlets. So I added the rest of that. So I got 4 large chicken cutlets. I don't know, maybe a total of fourth cup of oil total, you know, between both batches. But let me get some cabbage. I'm just so excited over this, and I see my phone's dying. All right, let's do a sample. Y'all, if you have never tried chicken cutlets like this, with that cabbage over it. I mean, you could do cornbread, hot water cornbread, but you notice there's no flour in this. We use the breadcrumbs, though. This is out of this world. Oh, my heavens. Buddy is going to be tickled. He's home, so I've got to call him in for supper. He's out messing with his fruit trees. But I want to say thank you for spending the day with me. We got dessert made and some breakfast. We got the cabbage slaw done. We cooked roux. We had supper, or we're about to have supper. And thank you for spending the day with me. But this is a little window into what my day looks like. Yesterday was working in the shed and making all the apple butter. So to end 2 days of labor intense, this is about the best meal I could come up with, and it is phenomenal. Simple, affordable. I mean, guys, really and truly, 2 people could eat off of one of these. And I only had 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And you saw how I pounded it out. So you can make this for a party of 4. Or if you had 3 little ones, you know, plus mom and dad. There you go. So it's affordable. I used a half a head of cabbage. You may want to use a whole head of cabbage. Maybe about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds would be plenty for the portion of this chicken. But thanks again. I got to reach out to my sister and say sugars, 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 and sugars. So, as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And I will see you on the next one. Guys, make you some chicken cutlets and cabbage. You'll thank me. I promise you.